Hey, John, since I'm going to rip those babies open and... Okay, now these are just sealed quotes. This is not a bid. These are just quotes for the tree removal on the Stafford Road project.
Okay, this is from Hercules Tree Service. Their price is $28,170. Which is $32,500.
Where's her tree from?
I can't exactly tell you that, do you? I know we sent out 5 or 6 requests. So.
330 something. So.
We can put an address on it. We'll have to just review both of them and make sure that
They're doing the same.
we have the same stuff.
Okay, we have the minutes from the regular meeting of November 3rd. I didn't have any changes or corrections. Anybody else?
Did I make a motion to approve?
I'll top it.
John?
Yep.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. Okay, schedule reports. Chief Phillips.
I have no report. It's cold out.
Thank you for that information, Chief. Are we meeting tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. Okay, reports. Mr. Eberly.
Well, we did, obviously been out to a couple rounds of plowing and soling. We also got our concrete pad poured up there by up in Lucky Bell, so all our projects are completed for this year. And Emmerich and I are working on the homing in here for our program for next year and extending out another year. And now that we have the levy passed, it's pretty, going to hammer that in pretty tight. So, we'll be, bumping up the paving.
Okay, so levy they will start collecting in 2015, and we will see results of that in what year, Fred? They come in 2016 then, actually get the cash, or we start seeing that in 15. So, advanced that? Okay, good.
That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Kavanaugh.
A couple things. One is the flag collection box out here that was the Eagle Scout project of Jonathan Wiegand. His ceremony that's part of that for flag disposals is Saturday morning at 10 a.m. up at Adam Hall. And I'm sure if there's not something in the box, they'll have something there. I think the thing looks pretty nice.
He did an awful nice job. Didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Did an awful nice job on that.
That's how they're supposed to go. That's a pretty good idea and well implemented.
That it's not a mailbox. I've had several people ask me.
I'm sure it's pretty well.
It's well marked.
What it is.
If just people driving by. Oh, there's mailbox there now. No, that's no mailbox.
Stranger things have happened, I guess.
Yeah. So there may be a few pieces of mail in there. Who knows?
Pass them on to the mailman when he comes back.
And we are looking for proposals on basic wiring up at the building in the park. And I know we got 5 contacts out and we got 1 back, so I would say nothing to act on yet because we'll have to get some comparable quotes, but at least there's ballpark there. That's all.
Okay. Let's go back to Fred. I know you keep this here.
It's a copy, so.
All right, Fred.
Okay, I put in front of you regular reports, the revenue report, fund status report, and appropriation status report as of today's date. Also submitted to you warrants 220 through 2038, totaling $399,564.17. The bulk of that is going to shrink out paving to satisfy the final price on the contract, which brings me to I need a resolution for supplemental appropriations appropriating $300,000 to the Road and Bridge Fund, account number 2031-33360 for payment of contracted services. The reason for that is we need the supplemental funds to pay that contract.
Okay, so we're transferring this from...
That's being transferred from the general fund unappropriated funds. I apologize, that'd be coming from the road fund unappropriated funds. So it's just being appropriated.
So it's being transferred within the Road and Bridge Fund.
Yes. It's not a transfer, though. It's a supplemental appropriation.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion for Resolution 2014-17 for a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $300,000 to Road and Bridge account number 2031-330-360.
Contracted services. I'll second it.
Did you make the motion, Mike?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
So, that's all that I have. And we are going, do you want to go over the payment for the fire? The capital purchases?
Yeah, we can do that. You can give us the exact figure.
Yeah, I'm working up an exact figure to figure out how much we have excess in the fire levy budget. But after discussing it with Mike and the rest of the board, we decided that the best thing to do would be for us to hold on to the funds, and then when you're ready to make a capital purchase, we will cut the check to the fire department.
Okay. Or
there
actually to the vendor, however you want to do that. So probably we can go directly to the vendor.
You just wanted to make sure it was earmarked.
Yeah. So what I'll do is create a separate line item
In the fire department account for capital purchases.
Okay.
so that it's set aside and we're not dipping into it.
We're fine with that.
Okay. That's all I've got.
Yeah, because after our discussion the last meeting, we're getting pretty close to having to get an engine, right? You were 23 years on that one. The one year. The one we were going to refurbish.
The one we're going to refurbish, and we found out that it had rust creep frame, which it's a double frame, and Rust Creek gets in between the two of them and literally pushes the frames apart. So it's not a good candidate for refurbished. Eventually, we're going to have to look at it.
All right.
You thinking when you say this year, this whole, what?
Well, we're thinking that we're just going to take it out further next couple of years, maybe.
Just try to get a couple more years, because what's really the time limitation?
20 years.
So we're already beyond for that particular piece of equipment anyway, right? It's 23.
It's getting there.
Yeah. So
If we would refurbish it, then we'd reset the clock again.
right.
But if you don't refurbish it, then when it reaches 20 years, you should probably replace it.
Is there an aftermarket for that?
Not much. Our policy, there was two ways to look at it. One is you let the equipment go until it's really not worth anything, and use it until you're sinking so much money into it, it doesn't pay for it. Or to sell it earlier when it still has resale value. And I personally think we'd be better off to try to sell it when it's still got some resale value to another department somewhere or something. Just doesn't have
Used to
it,
get some interest from like fire departments off to the east,
Right.
Trumbull County and whatnot.
Well, the last engine we sold went out to Auburn.
Is that right?
How old was that one, John?
Beg pardon?
How old was that one?
That one? That was, I think it was 23 years.
23.
It's already about the same as this one.
Right.
What did we get for that at that point in time? Do you remember?
I really don't recall.
I remember it wasn't a whole bucket of money.
I want to say it was like 23,000.
Well, when we employed that strategy with the last truck, we went from a couple $1,000s to 10.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know, it's something that we should keep in mind, I think, a little bit.
Well, we're going to do a little more research on that when it's really appropriate to pull that trigger. But I'm thinking it's going to be at least a year or two.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at this stage, I don't think it's qualifies. I mean, you pretty much bit the bullet, and now it's either you refurbish or you replace. So.
Right.
So they definitely decided to replace. It's just a matter.
Yeah.
And like I said, anything could happen to move that up quite a bit. I've seen it happen before.
Right.
I guess you're kind of stuck in that cycle a little bit, due to the expense of, due to the price tag on this thing.
And, the chief and I were talking earlier today. It looks like, as far as money that we could probably set aside for it right now in our budget, 150 maybe, somewhere in that ballpark, but I need to make sure that we're not dipping into next year's money before we set that aside, so that we're not shifting it back and forth.
Right.
And this is all within the fire levy funds.
Right, correct. Well, I think it's always important to remind the membership that our levies are fire levies. They're not road levies. So those monies are not spent for anything but
Campfire by law.
Yeah, and that's why we're not worried about where it is.
Right.
We just wanted to see it earmarked.
And see the
Because
earmark.
we're trying to build our capital purchase fund back up.
Right. And well, that's why I want to get it earmarked here and have a specific value on it. So now you know how much you have on your side, how much we have here. So
Right.
when you go pull the trigger, you know how much money you've got.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense. Anything else, Fred?
That's all I got.
Sure.
That's all I got.
All right. Okay. New business. Time Warner franchise fees have been received. They have been received into the general fund also.
No, we can receive those directly into the property improvement fund. We don't have to receive it into the net transfer.
Okay.
We just need a motion to receive it into.
Okay. Well, so moved.
second.
$3,957.97.
John?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and you've got a cemetery deed for us to sign? Right, okay. Okay, public comment. Diane?
Yes, Fred, could you help me out here again and help me to understand where the $300,000 to pay off Chagrin Valley paving, where is that coming from again?
It's coming out of the road levy fund, but it's not appropriated. It's just money that's in there that's not appropriated. So we have to make a motion to appropriate that money for contracted services.
Okay, so road levy fund, what account number is that then?
It would be 2031.
Yeah, I know it's 2031, but is there a subset on that?
Yes. It's in 2031,
Right.
unappropriated.
Right.
It's going to be appropriated to 2031, 330, 360.
Okay, so what you're saying is that when the levy money comes in, it kind of just sits there?
It's in a real property revenue fund within the levy. So it comes in. I'd have to look up the exact account number for you. It comes in, and what we do is we record it into a revenue fund, and that revenue fund, the number is 2191, whatever the account object code is for that. But it comes in as a real property disbursement and goes into that revenue fund.
Is that an interest-bearing fund?
No, this is I'm just talking about the internal structure of our accounting system. So it's in the bank, but we record it in our accounting system under 2191 as a revenue fund, and then it has to be appropriated to go into a fund that we can spend money on.
And second question, warrant 2024 made payable to the volunteer fire department. Chief, what's that $1,474 for?
HVA repair, mechanical.
I'm sorry,
We had heating and cooling systems.
Okay, thank you.
We did some work on it.
Is that it? Any other questions? Okay. Any public comment? All right, well, I'll make a motion to go into executive session, purpose of zoning and KCE board applicants.
I'm going to add to that too. We also have a proposed judgment entry to review.